My parents got divorced. That's when I started using humor as a defense mechanism.
Put Chandler Bing, Seth Cohen, and Jeff Winger in the same room, and they'd drive each other crazy figuring out which one of them is the funniest.
So where was I for fun time?
For some, being witty comes as naturally as breathing. It's Liz Lemon's defense mechanism, Jim Halpert's way to liven up office life, and how Gina Linetti outsmarts everyone. Here are the wittiest characters we love from our favorite TV shows.
But I mean, can we just take a moment to celebrate me?
Sure, Schmidt's kind of neurotic, definitely opinionated, and charmingly self-centered. But he just brings so much energy to his eclectic group of friends. Schmidt's wit is often a result of him being unaware of his own quirks, which is why he needs the douchebag jar, and often ends up with his foot in his mouth. His pride makes him want to seem clever, even when he has no idea what he's doing. But he's so extra that he makes up for any mishaps by being one of the most exciting friends anyone could hope to have.
Pine has no place in this loft. It's the wood of poor people and outhouses.
Sometimes it seems like Seth Cohen invented sarcasm, but he's so endearing and approachable, it's like his wit literally rubs off on the people around him. He uses his good humor to cope with hopelessly crushing on Summer, always has a one-liner for an awkward moment, and just can't seem to resist being himself. He's also really good at portraying exactly how a teenager puts up with embarrassing parents.
Thank God, man. Are you ready to go?
Ah, the one-liners, the self-deprecating humor, and that glorious sarcasm. Chandler has an overwhelming need to be the funniest of all, but it works out because he makes fun of his friends and himself. Chandler's friendship with Joey in particular gives him the perfect opportunities to show off his quick wit. It's one of his most defining characteristics, and it's literally a part of who he is. Remember when his New Year's resolution was to stop making fun of his friends, and he had the worst time ever?
Oh, this must be killing you.
What makes Jim so great? Well, he can make everything into a joke without being annoying, makes working in an office look entertaining, can be petty in the best way, and offers up the best commentary on his coworkers' crazy antics. Jim and Dwight always keep each other on their toes, and it takes some sharp wit to be able to pull off those pranks.
You put my stuff in Jell-O again.
Liz Lemon is the queen of witty one-liners, self-deprecating humor, and giving the best advice. This powerful working woman also taught us a bunch of new terms and was often the most relatable character on TV. She's honest and willing to be upfront about her flaws, which makes her sharp wit even more respectable, especially when she's going toe-to-toe with Jack.
We're not stubborn, we're principled.
Tom's wit comes from him thinking his ideas are always the best, even when they usually aren't. But you gotta respect someone who has that much confidence, even though he doesn't always have the skills to back it up or the work ethic. Tom just has a love for all things high class and exclusive, no matter how weird. And it takes a creative mind to come up with his unique lingo.
Air conditioners are cool blasters with a Z.
Let's talk about Jason Bateman for a second. He's great at sophisticated, dry humor, and he can get his point across with just a look or the perfect reaction. As Michael from Arrested Development, he's subtly sarcastic and captivatingly awkward around women. But even as Marty from Ozark, Bateman has these perfect reactionary moments and uses his quick wit to get out of some tough situations. He's in tons of movies, but we need him to bring his wit to another sitcom. Stat.
And apparently, every summer. Hang on.
Great minds think alike, and Rory and Lorelai Gilmore prove it as the sometimes troublesome mother-daughter pair that often use their quick wit to make life in Stars Hollow more interesting. They balance each other's crazy, always have a comeback to lighten the mood, and pick on each other as only best friends can. Their wit truly knows no bounds, and any conversation with them ends up entertaining.
What? Nothing, I just didn't know the rodeo was in town.
Despite Game of Thrones' not-so-lighthearted subject matter, Tyrion Lannister is full of quick-witted one-liners and plenty of comebacks. After all, his mind is his biggest strength. He provides comic relief and is one of the most relatable characters. We all wanted to slap some sense into Joffrey. Plus, he gives his siblings a well-deserved taste of their own medicine.
Marcella's a sweet, innocent girl, and I don't blame her at all for you.
So clever.
It takes a quick wit to come up with Barney's pickup lines, plus putting a spin on a few old-fashioned ones. You've also got to have some creative humor to accept so many challenges. While Barney is a womanizer and sometimes self-centered, he also puts his cleverness to good use supporting his friends, and he always backs it up with incredible confidence.
That is so awesome! A high five doesn't even cut it. High six!
Penny always has a good comeback, hilarious input, and while she's not as scholarly as her friends, she shows off how clever she is in other ways. Penny's humor helped make her more than just the hot girl. Her wit also proved that she could always look out for herself, and she helped make The Big Bang Theory more relatable for those of us who aren't geniuses.
Spell asthma.
Robert Downey Jr.'s only been in a few TV shows, but he manages to make audiences laugh and then cry with his quick wit in whatever role he plays. He's complex as Tony Stark and brings a cleverness to Iron Man that not only shows off his great mind, but also his ability to find the fun in the serious role of a superhero. But RDJ has some equally hilarious moments on the small screen. He played Larry Paul in Ally McBeal, which highlighted the actor's comedic skills. Looking back, it just proved that he can bring his natural wit and good humor to any character.
Take that off. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Will Smith is always clever with his humor in Fresh Prince, whether he's making jokes about Carlton's height or trying out a new pickup line. Even when they get a little predictable, he always knows how to get his way. Will is also great at breaking the tension, and his jokes are memorable and still get quoted to this day. His mishaps are refreshingly funny, and he can turn a bad situation into comedic gold.
Check this. His royal freshness. That's dope.
Gina Linetti's always got something to say, has unmatched confidence and a love for bragging, and she's usually pretty selfish. But she's also impossible not to love, probably because she's so ambitious, entertainingly over the top, and a great friend, even though she won't admit it. Understanding how her mind actually works is a challenge, but one her friends are more than happy to accept.
But go get him before I change my mind. Oh, I already changed my mind.
Max Black uses wit as a self-defense mechanism, but it makes her refreshingly honest, incredibly sassy, and downright relatable. She pretty much says what we're thinking, but would never say out loud. Her wit and sarcastic one-liners also make her the perfect balance to bubbly Caroline, and in return, Caroline tries to help her see the positive side of things, which works, sometimes.
Don't be ridiculous. Your luck couldn't get any worse.
There's no one who can offer A-plus medical expertise, ace sarcasm, and make fun of their co-workers better than Dr. Cox. His rants can go on and on and on, but there's no denying they're clever. It's pretty much impossible for him not to respond to everything with sarcasm and biting humor. He might just be the funniest character that we're also afraid of. That 70s show has a few characters that could be classified as witty, but Eric's wit is the centerpiece of the show, and his timing is always impeccable. Eric's a pro at quick one-liners, picking on his sister, and he's perfectly sarcastic. The fact that his father is so unimpressed by his humor just makes Eric seem even funnier.
We treated him like our own son.
Treat him better than your own son.
There's nothing Jeff Winger won't make fun of. He's got great comebacks and a huge ego to match. We can't forget those classic wingers. Thankfully, he uses his wit for good instead of evil. Well, most of the time. At least he makes up for it by using his humor to protect and look out for his friends. And he helps keep things from getting too serious.
You mean like marriage?
I mean a mental institution.
Ah, so do I.
Darlene excels at making fun of her family. She's the troubled child that even a slightly rebellious teen can relate to. She's also always catching people off guard and has some of the best one-liners on TV. The best thing about Darlene is that she stays true to herself and always says exactly what she's thinking.
Well, no one was home, so I figured why not become a woman?
Being witty is a huge part of her personality. All of the Golden Girls are funny, but Dorothy is probably the wittiest. She's sarcastic, always tries to have the last word, and has given us a gold mine of clever insults over the years. But the best part? She makes fun of her siblings, while still always taking care of them, proving that wit can be an effective way to cope and find the silver linings in life. It's basically a superpower.
You've been practicing for this part for a lifetime, haven't you?
Who are your favorite clever characters? Anyone you'd love for us to discuss in an upcoming video? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit that like button while you're here, and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks for watching!